folks, let's switch gears right now and go to the KRDO Newsline and visit with Dr. Fraud, otherwise known as Dr. Skiba, who's with the Criminal Justice Chair of Colorado State University Global. And Dr. Fraud, thanks for joining us this afternoon. This is a huge topic considering we just missed Data Privacy Day, which was on Friday. But in today's world, we can never, go 2 days without talking about some sort of fraud. How bad of a problem was it in 2020?
Hey, Dan. Yeah, it's great to be on. And I think, back in the day, it was a matter of, if you're going to become a victim, and now it's almost like when. So I think consumers, businesses, they need to make themselves harder targets, if you will, put up those different layers. I call them like circles of security because, the statistics are staggering. I mean, we know there's almost 2,000 robocalls per second. I mean, so Dan, we're just getting bombarded from a consumer level, small business level, from every single angle. And
it's interesting because most scammers nowadays are using psychological tricks, right, to persuade us out of our money.
Yeah, and this is what I based my career on. It's quite fascinating. I mean, this is dating back, in the early 1900s. George Parker sold the Brooklyn Bridge dozens of times using the same psychological tactics that the scammers are using today. And basically it falls down to, the power, using those powers of persuasion, the sense of urgency, the, fear of missing out, authority figure, all those things. When you really pick apart every single scam, I see evidence of them in every single one. So people can use those IT tools, if you will, to help prevent that.
And people obviously can't go anywhere these days without their cell phones. And I guess the cyber criminals have figured that out because most of these scams take part with cell phones, right?
Correct. Yeah, we've seen an incredible spike in recent years. And really, why that is because it's actually quite simple. Firstly, the text on a cell phone is a lot smaller than on a laptop, so we might miss some of those flags like a link or a hyperlink that's wrong or a misspelling, in an email or a text. But secondly, it's the psychological aspect. We call it the swipe mentality. Dan, on the phone, you might spend 2 seconds looking at a text or an email, or on your laptop, you might spend 10 or 15, that extra few seconds to really pick up on one of those flags. We're seeing a lot more crimes being precipitated via cell phone.
Okay, so we got 30 seconds. Let's give the big take-home message, like how can we protect ourselves against the risk of fraud? So what is the bottom line?
Dan, it's all about creating security circles. Start broad from the outside, internet service providers, network providers, slowly work your way in to your specific devices, your apps, things that are running in the background, and just slowly, use those passwords, the strong passwords, multi-factor authentication. All those things will absolutely make yourself a harder target and push the criminals elsewhere. And that's what we want, Dan.
Excellent. And then give me one example, like a big, strong password. What would be a good example of that?
Multiple letters, digits, and, using those exclamation points and those signals. But you want to change those frequently, too. And nothing related to, let's say a honeymoon or a date of birth. Try to think of something totally random. Not Denver Broncos 2022 or anything like that. So try to pick something that's a little unique that's, going to make it a little bit harder for the scammers. For sure.
And then trying to remember your password. That's the big $64,000 question. Do you have any advice about that?
Yeah, you can use password apps like lock apps, but really, it comes down to just, human memory, and there are certain tips, if you research this, there actually are like mnemonic tricks that you can use to actually remember these to prompt your memory. But the best advice really is to try to not keep them on Post-its or keep them anywhere that, someone else could potentially hack them.
So don't use Dr. Skiba 2022 131. That's good.
Just hack my system.
Dr. Fraud, thanks for the time. Hey, don't be a stranger. We'd love to have you on more.
Anytime, Dan. Anytime. Thank
Excellent.
you so much.
Have a great day.